Hi, it's Scott, ROCKFILE, back with another podcast review. Didn't expect to watch this one last night, but let's talk about 2003's Hulk in its Universal 4K edition. Last year, Groove was doing one of those sales 3 for $30, and so you could pick up movies for $10 a piece. And, well, I hadn't upgraded Hulk into 4K. Most of the Marvel movies I did upgrade so far. But this one was before the Marvel Universe, and I've always made allowances for it because Danny Elfman did the music, and I like Ang Lee as a director, and they tried really hard. Watching it last night, they tried really hard to make a comic book movie, but it just doesn't all. I understand what he was going for, but it still comes out as a 2.5 to 3 star movie out of 5. It's 136 minutes. It was a $137 million budget, and all of that is on the screen. Went on to gross about $246 million, so not a huge hit, but obviously we have still Hulk to these days. They haven't been able to get Hulk movies right. He's great in other movies, but like the individual Hulk movies are just okay. Gale Ann Hurd produced this along with some of the people who have worked on a lot of Larry Franco, who worked on, John Carpenter movies. Stars Eric Bana, Jennifer Connelly, Sam Elliott, Josh Lucas, and Nick Nolte. Can we stop putting Josh Lucas as a bad guy in things because he just reeks of it? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I've said that about another actor in another movie. It's like that when they're in the movie, you know what kind of character they're going to play. And I wish they wouldn't. I mean, I guess that's why they're good at that. But I think Eric Bana was really good as Bruce Banner. That being said, there's a lot of buildup. We see David Banner, his father worked on genetics in the 60s. It was passed on to his kid because he experimented on himself. Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross forbids human experimentation back then. We get some younger actors playing the roles that later would be inhabited by Sam Elliott and Nick Nolte later on. I think Eric Bana and Jennifer Connelly are perfect in the main roles. I think Sam Elliott's good. His mustache bothered me most of the time. And I think Nick Nolte is surprisingly good as dad who's been estranged and could be crazy or could be not. They tried to do a Greek tragedy with the film, and it very much is that. There's a lot of staring at the sky going, no, kind of stuff and long. But like the entire movie, they try and make every transition feel like a comic book. We get multiple panes and lines coming through and quick edits. I just talked about a movie that had a lot of transitions in it. This also has a huge amount of transitions that are spectacular. Like the Highlander, I mention Highlander a lot because Russell Mulcahy did some transitions from past to future and backwards with some really creative ways. And that's kind of what we refer to when we talk about people doing creative transitions. Well, they did a lot of creative transitions with this, but when the movie didn't do so well, we got a planned sequel that became a reboot, and they've never really gone back to this. I guess some of the story has been retold in The Incredible Hulk, and this was just kind of left out there to die. So I looked up the reviews for the 4K, and they were really good. And I'm like, well, to upgrade for $10, that's not very much. I probably paid more to see it in the theater back in the day. Now, I hadn't seen the movie in years. Really, it's been decades since I've watched this film, at least one decade. So I sat down and watched it last night. The Greek tragedy part works. The acting works. It's just a little long, and it's not as fun as it should be. It's kind of a dark. It almost fits in with like kind of Batman. I mean, there's a lot of daylight and outside stuff. I'm not saying that, but the whole thing doesn't really have a whole lot of lighthearted moments or comedy, and that probably would have ruined things to a certain extent. I think the special effects are really good for 2003. Some of the things don't sink into the film as well when you're watching in 4K. I've never liked the mutant dog scenes. That fight I've just never really enjoyed. It's dark. There's dust everywhere, so that hides some of the problems with the scene. Never really been a fan of that scene, but I know it's one of the big set pieces. Other than that, they had tightened up the film and just kind of went more into a little bit more fun. I think it would have come out a little bit better. But when I watched it, I'm like, well, this was our first shot at making a Hulk movie. I wouldn't say that The Incredible Hulk is much better. What they did with Abomination and everything, it was just okay. But it became the second movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and is considered canon, where this one is not. Again, I think everybody does well in the film. I think Ang Lee gave it a real shot of doing something different, and in an early time when there weren't very many comic movies. At this time, the X-Men movies were doing really well. Some of the people that produced the X-Men movies worked on this. There's a lot to like about it. It just, we have the whole Marvel Universe now, and a better Hulk on better special effects for sure. So we only have 2 single Hulk movies, and this is one of them. I'd give it a 2.5 to 3 out of 5. It's definitely fine. The effects are good. The 4K is spectacular. It's a native 4K transfer with DTS-X. I don't have very many DTX discs, but fortunately I do have a system that can decode it. It was a great soundtrack. My subwoofer got a serious workout last night, and I'm upgrading part of my surround sound system. We'll talk about it this week, but my subwoofer does not need upgrading. I had to turn it down a hair. It was a powerful 5.1, 7.1 DTS soundtrack. I flipped around in they all sound great. Universal did a great job with this disc. Wish the movie was a little bit better, but if you do enjoy this film, the 4K is the way to go. It blows the HDR, and it just has HDR10. It doesn't have Dolby Vision. Still blows away the counterpart that came with the Blu-ray that came with it. Anyway, long story short, Hulk is a mediocre movie done really well by the 4K. So if you enjoy it, pick it up. If not, enjoy Incredible Hulk. I'm Scott. I'm ROCKFILE. More podcasts are on the way. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a spectacular day.